My name is Elise, I am 29 years old, and I live in Lille with Maxim. We have been together for 7 years and until recently, I always thought our relationship was solid. Maxim is a firefighter, a job that often keeps him away from home, and although I am proud of him, I miss his presence terribly. Every year, Maxim's family organizes a big family reunion for Christmas. It's a tradition I particularly enjoy because it makes me feel like part of their family. This year, the reunion promises to be even more special because Gabriel, Maxim's cousin, is returning after several years abroad for his studies and work. I remember him as a charismatic and funny young man, always ready to make everyone laugh. When Gabriel walked through the door of the family home, a wave of memories and forgotten feelings overwhelmed me. He is even more attractive than I remember, with that blend of exoticism and adventure that sets him apart. Our eyes meet, and I feel a spark that I haven't felt in a long time. Maxim, meanwhile, is absorbed in conversations with his parents and brothers. The Christmas dinner takes place in a warm and festive atmosphere. Laughter and conversations fill the room, but I can't help but steal glances at Gabriel. He seems to have noticed my unease because at one point he smiles at me and winks. My heart beats faster, and I feel a mix of guilt and excitement. A few days pass, and the reunions with Gabriel become more frequent. A simple conversation turns into intense and passionate exchanges. He tells me about his adventures abroad, his discoveries, and his experiences, and I realize how much I crave novelty and passion in my own life. Although Maxim is attentive, he has never been able to fulfill this need in me. One afternoon, while Maxim is on duty at the fire station, Gabriel suggests we take a walk through the decorated streets of Lille. I accept, despite the little voice in my head telling me it's not a good idea. We stroll under the twinkling lights, talking about everything and nothing, and I feel a connection growing between us. We find a quiet cafe and sit down. The atmosphere is intimate, conducive to confidences. Gabriel looks me in the eye and says, "Elise, I'm glad to see you again. You have become even more beautiful and fascinating than before." His words touch me deeply, and before I can react, he takes my hand in his. My heart races, and I feel an intense warmth flood over me. Back at the family home, I am in the throes of inner turmoil. The guilt of betraying Maxim eats at me, but the euphoria of my feelings for Gabriel is irresistible. I know I should stay away from him, but every time I see him, I feel alive in a way I never have before. In the following days, Gabriel and I find moments to be alone. Whether hiding in isolated corners of the house or pretending to run errands in town, each encounter is a mix of passion and secrecy. Our conversations become more intimate and our exchanged glances more burning. The situation becomes increasingly difficult to manage. I am torn between the guilt of betraying Maxim, the man with whom I have built my life, and the euphoria of the newfound passion with Gabriel. I know I am on a dangerous slope, but it is already too late to turn back. As Christmas approaches, the atmosphere becomes electric. I feel that something is going to happen, something that could change my life forever. My feelings for Gabriel have become too strong to ignore, and I must face the consequences of my actions. The days pass, and each moment spent with Gabriel is a breath of fresh air in my life. Maxim is still as busy with his work, and even when he is home, he is often tired and distant. I feel increasingly alone, and Gabriel becomes my escape, my refuge. One evening, while the family home is plunged into calm, Gabriel sends me a message, "Meet me in the garden." My heart races as I discreetly slip out of the house to join him. It is cold, but the warmth of his arms around me makes the chill disappear in an instant. We kiss, and my whole being trembles with excitement and guilt. Our secret meetings become more frequent and daring. Each moment stolen away from prying eyes is a mix of passion and fear. We know we are playing with fire, but the attraction is too strong to resist. We find excuses to slip away together, whether for errands or late-night walks. Each kiss, each caress makes me forget reality, even if only for a moment. One afternoon, while Maxim is on duty and the other family members are occupied, Gabriel and I find ourselves alone in the living room. The atmosphere is heavy with tension, and before I can say anything, Gabriel pulls me to him and kisses me with an intensity one had never known. We end up giving in to our desire, and this moment of total abandon seals our infidelity. From that day on, every moment spent with Gabriel is an escape into a world where anything seems possible. But the guilt gnaws at me from the inside. I know I am betraying Maxim, and the thought of hurting him tears me apart. Yet, I cannot help but think of Gabriel, to want to be with him at every moment. The Christmas holidays approach, and the family home is filled with the bustle of preparations. I feel like a stranger among all these familiar faces, carrying a secret that could destroy everything. Gabriel and I continue to see each other in secret, but each meeting becomes riskier. One evening, while everyone is gathered around the fireplace, Gabriel discreetly slips a small package into my hand. "Merry Christmas," he whispers in my ear before walking away. My heart races as I unfold the paper to discover a beautiful silver necklace, simple but elegant. It is a significant gift, a symbol of our secret affair. I wear it discreetly under my sweater, but the next morning, while Maxim and I are having breakfast, he notices something. "Is that necklace new?" he asks, frowning. My mind races, looking for a plausible excuse. "Yes, it's a Christmas gift from your aunt," I lie, hoping he won't suspect anything. Maxim seems to accept my explanation, but I feel a slight change in his attitude. He becomes more attentive, more observant, as if he is trying to uncover a mystery. The tension between us increases, and I feel increasingly trapped between my feelings for Gabriel and my loyalty to Maxim. The atmosphere reaches its peak when Christmas Eve arrives. The house is full of laughter and animated conversations, but I feel like a ticking time bomb, ready to explode at any moment. Gabriel and I find a moment to slip away into a secluded corner of the garden. "We have to be careful," he whispers, kissing me gently. "I don't want to lose you." I nod, knowing full well that we have crossed a dangerous line. Our feelings have become too intense to ignore, but the consequences of our actions weigh heavily on me. I don't know how much longer I can continue living in this lie, betraying the man I love while desperately seeking the passion that Gabriel brings me. As Christmas Eve approaches, I feel that something inevitable and potentially destructive is going to happen. I am at a crossroads, and every choice I make could turn my life upside down forever. Christmas Eve is finally here, and the festive atmosphere of the family home does nothing to calm the turmoil growing inside me. The laughter, the songs, and the lively conversations form a joyful backdrop, but I am trapped in a spiral of guilt and desire. Gabriel and I continue to seek each other out with our eyes, finding excuses to isolate ourselves, but each stolen moment is fraught with more danger. As the evening progresses, a distant cousin named Julian catches us passionately kissing in a secluded corner of the garden. My heart stops, terrified by the consequences of this discovery. Julian, visibly surprised, approaches us with a sly smile. "I won't say anything," he whispers, "but it will cost you something." His ambiguous tone makes me uneasy. Gabriel tries to calm him down by joking, but I feel we have fallen into a trap. Julian leaves us, but the discomfort lingers. Gabriel squeezes my hand, trying to reassure me, but I feel that something has changed. The betrayal, once our shared secret, is now known to someone else. The tension rises another notch when Gabriel gives me another gift for Christmas. He offers me a silver bracelet matching the necklace he had already given me. I know I should refuse it, but the emotion in his eyes convinces me otherwise. I put it on discreetly, hoping no one will notice. Later, while we are all gathered to exchange Christmas gifts, Maxim notices the bracelet. "Another gift from my aunt?" he asks, his tone sharper than usual. I feel my face turn red, but before I can answer, Julian intervenes. "No, I believe that one is from Gabriel, right?" He smiles innocently, but I sense the underlying threat. Maxim turns to me, his eyes filled with confusion and pain. "Elise, what does this mean?" I am petrified, unable to find the words to explain the situation. Gabriel, sensing the need to intervene, tries to diffuse the tension, but his efforts only make things worse. The evening takes a dramatic turn when Maxim insists on talking in private. We retreat to a separate room, and he confronts me directly. "Elise, are you cheating on me with Gabriel?" His words hit me like a punch, and I feel the tears rising. I want to explain everything to him, tell him how sorry I am, how abandoned and lost I have felt. But the words remain stuck in my throat, stifled by shame and guilt. Maxim, seeing my silence as confirmation, explodes in anger. How could you? After everything we have been through together? His words pierce me, and I feel my world crumbling. Gabriel, who followed us, tries to calm Maxim, but it only worsens the situation. An explosive confrontation ensues, and the shouting attracts the attention of the entire family. Maxim's parents and Gabriel's parents arrive, their faces marked by worry. The truth comes out, and the family is shaken by the betrayal. Maxim's parents are devastated, unable to understand how such a situation could have happened under their roof. Gabriel's parents are equally distressed, torn between loyalty to their son and sadness for Maxim. The family reunion, once united and joyful, is now filled with whispers and accusatory glances. I feel like a pariah, betraying not only Maxim but the entire family that had welcomed me so warmly. The repercussions of my actions are heavier than I had imagined, and I find myself at a crucial crossroads. Maxim looks at me with eyes full of pain and disappointment. Elise, I don't know if I can ever forgive you. His words are a final blow, leaving me broken and desperate. Gabriel, despite his attempts to comfort me, also seems lost, not knowing how to repair what has been broken. As the night progresses, I find myself alone in our bedroom, facing my choices and the consequences of my actions. I must make a radical decision, one that could change my life forever. Should I confess the whole truth to Maxim and risk losing everything? Or should I lie to try to save what remains of our relationship? The early hours of the morning bring a deceptive calm to the family home, but inside, I am a whirlwind of confusion and pain. I hardly slept, tossing and turning, trying to find a solution to this impossible situation. Maxim stayed in another room, and the silence between us is more deafening than any scream. The tension is palpable during breakfast. No one speaks, and everyone avoids eye contact. I feel the weight of the family's disapproval, and even Gabriel seems distant, lost in his thoughts. It is then that I make a decision. I must talk to Maxim, tell him the truth, and face the consequences of my actions. I find Maxim in the garden, sitting alone on a bench. He looks up when I approach, and I see the pain in his eyes. Maxim, we need to talk, I say softly, sitting down next to him. He nods, his expression closed. I'm sorry, Maxim. I never wanted to hurt you. I felt so alone these past months, and when Gabriel came back, I lost my mind. My words are clumsy but sincere. I explain my feelings of abandonment, my search for passion, and how I found that spark with Gabriel. Maxim listens in silence, his fists clenched. Why didn't you talk to me about your feelings? Why didn't you give me a chance to fix things? His voice is full of pain, and I realize how much I have hurt him. I don't know, I admit, tears in my eyes. I was afraid you wouldn't understand, that you wouldn't be there for me. I was wrong, and I am sorry. We sit there in silence, each lost in our thoughts. Finally, Maxim stands up and says, I don't know if I can forgive you, Elise. I need time. He walks away, leaving me alone with my thoughts and regrets. The family is also aware of our conversation, and I feel their disapproval growing. Gabriel tries to comfort me, but even he seems uncertain about our future. The following days are a blur of tension and uncertainty. Maxim and I avoid talking, each trying to find meaning in what happened. Gabriel, meanwhile, seems increasingly distant, as if he realizes the consequences of our affair. One evening, while I am alone in our apartment in Lille, Maxim comes home. He sits across from me, and I feel that this is the moment of truth. Elise, I still love you, but I don't know if I can overcome this betrayal. We need to take a step back, reflect on what we really want. I nod, tears silently streaming down my cheeks. I understand, Maxim. I am ready to do whatever it takes to regain your trust, but I understand if you need time. We decide to take a break, each going to live with our parents for a while. The separation is heartbreaking but necessary. I spend my days reflecting, writing in my journal, trying to understand my own emotions and motivations. Gabriel, on his side, returns abroad for his work. We say goodbye, not knowing if we will ever see each other again. Our relationship, as intense as it was, now seems to belong to another time, another life. The weeks pass, and gradually, I begin to rebuild myself. I take time for myself, for my passions, and to reflect on what I really want in life. Maxim and I exchange messages from time to time, but the distance between us remains. One day, while I am walking in a park, I receive a message from Maxim. "Can we meet? I'd like to talk." My heart races as I reply affirmatively. We meet in a cafe, and the ensuing conversation is both painful and cathartic. Maxim looks at me with a softer expression than I have seen in a long time. "Elise, I still love you, and I want to try to rebuild our relationship. But it will take time, and we need to be honest with each other." His words are a glimmer of hope in the fog of my life. I take his hand and reply, "I am ready to do whatever it takes to regain your trust, Maxim. I know I have made mistakes, but I really want us to have a second chance." The following months are a difficult path towards reconstruction. Maxim and I decide to see a couples therapist to help us overcome our issues. The sessions are challenging, often painful, but they allow us to dig deep into our feelings and expectations. At first, the pain and mistrust are omnipresent. Maxim struggles to forget the betrayal, and I fight to prove my sincerity and devotion. Every small victory, every moment of regained connection, is a step towards healing. Gabriel, meanwhile, becomes a shadow of the past. We have no further contact, and although I retain some fondness for him, I realize that our affair was merely an escape from my real problems. Maxim, despite everything, is the man with whom I want to build my life. One evening, after a long day of work, Maxim and I find ourselves in our apartment, now once again a home. We prepare dinner together, and for the first time in a long time, there is genuine complicity between us. "I am proud of us," says Maxim, hugging me. "We have come a long way." I nod, my eyes shining with gratitude and love. "I am proud of us too, Maxim. Thank you for giving me a second chance." Our embraces are warmer, our conversations deeper, and we gradually rediscover the passion that united us at the beginning. Maxim's family, although marked by the events, supports us in our efforts to reconcile. Family gatherings are still tinged with painful memories, but we all work together to rebuild bonds of trust and love. Maxim's and Gabriel's parents are invaluable support, even though the relationship between the two cousins remains tense. With time, Maxim and I once again envision our future together. We talk about marriage, travel plans, and all the dreams we had set aside. Every day is a new opportunity to get closer, to rediscover each other, and to strengthen our love. Reflecting on this period of my life has brought unexpected clarity. I realized that infidelity was not just an act of betrayal towards Maxim but also towards myself. I had sought elsewhere what I thought was lost without realizing that the true solution lay within me and in our ability to communicate and understand each other. The lessons learned from this experience are profound. I learned the importance of open communication, vulnerability, and patience. I also understood that every relationship is a constant work, a balance between giving and receiving, understanding and being understood. Maxim and I are not perfect, and neither is our relationship. But we have chosen to fight for our love, to overcome obstacles, and to grow together. This period of turmoil has ultimately strengthened our bond, allowing us to better know and appreciate each other. Looking back, I realize that this experience, although painful, was a crucial turning point in my life. It allowed me to confront my own insecurities, understand my true desires, and work towards being a better partner for Maxim. Today, I am grateful for the resilience of our love and for the strength we have found within ourselves. Maxim and I continue to build our future hand in hand, confident that we can overcome any storm together. And as we look towards the future, I know we are ready to face any challenges that come our way, fortified by the love and trust we have relearned to share.